The sun gently streamed through the trees at Willowbrook Park, casting long shadows on the ground as 36-year-old Thomas Richardson pushed his 4-year-old daughter, Emma, on the swing. With each back-and-forth motion, her silent smile grew, lighting up her face. As the CEO of Richardson Technologies, Thomas was used to commanding attention in boardrooms and sealing million-dollar deals with ease. But when it came to helping Emma find her voice after the car accident that had taken her mother's life 18 months ago, he felt completely powerless. Despite numerous attempts to reach Emma, including speech therapists, child psychologists, and renowned specialists, Emma had not spoken a word since the tragedy. The doctors confirmed that there was no physical issue with her ability to speak. The silence she maintained was an emotional shield, a response to the deep trauma that she couldn't process as a young child. Emma communicated in other ways, through gestures, drawings, and eyes full of unspoken understanding. But her voice remained locked inside, hidden behind the grief she had yet to overcome. On this particular afternoon, like so many others, Thomas had brought Emma to the playground, hoping the presence of other children might help her engage more with the world. She wore a bright green dress adorned with sunflowers, a special gift from her late mother that she always wore when she was feeling sad or frightened. As Emma swung back and forth, Thomas noticed a little boy around her age playing alone by the monkey bars. The boy had blonde hair and was dressed in a worn tan shirt. He kept glancing toward Emma with a curious look, as if he wanted to approach her but wasn't sure how. After a few moments, the boy finally gathered the courage to walk over to Emma. "Hi," he said in a friendly, straightforward way. "I'm Ryan. Do you want to play with me?" Emma glanced at Ryan, then at her father, before shyly nodding. She slowed her swing and carefully climbed down, smoothing the fabric of her dress. "I like your dress," Ryan said with a genuine smile. "Sunflowers are my favorite flowers. My mom says they always turn toward the sun, even when it's cloudy." Emma smiled at the comment and pointed to the sunflowers on her dress before lifting her gaze to the sky, where the sun was shining brightly. "Do you want to see something cool?" Ryan asked, his eyes twinkling with excitement. He led Emma over to a patch of grass where several dandelions had gone to seed. "These are like magic flowers," he said. "If you make a wish and blow on them, the wish flies on the wind to wherever it needs to go." Emma knelt down beside Ryan as he gently picked one of the fluffy seed heads. "You have to close your eyes and think really hard about what you want," Ryan explained seriously. "Then you blow all the seeds away. And if you believe enough, your wish will come true." Thomas stood nearby, watching the scene unfold. He was deeply moved by Ryan's natural kindness and the way he so effortlessly included Emma. There was something extraordinary about this boy's instinct to connect with someone who was struggling. Emma closed her eyes tightly, concentrating on her wish, and Thomas couldn't help but wonder what she might be wishing for. After a long moment, she opened her eyes and prepared to blow on the dandelion seeds. "Wait!" Ryan suddenly exclaimed, placing a gentle hand on Emma's arm. "I just remembered something my grandma told me. She said that wishes work even better when you say them out loud, because that way the wind knows exactly where to take them." Emma looked at Ryan, her wide eyes filled with curiosity, before glancing back at her father. Thomas held his breath, hoping against hope that this moment might be different from all the others. "It's okay if your voice sounds funny or quiet," Ryan continued with the wisdom of someone who had probably faced challenges of his own. "The wind listens to all kinds of voices. Even whispers count as real words." Emma looked down at the dandelion in her hands, then back at Ryan's encouraging face. She took a deep breath and, in a voice so soft that Thomas nearly missed it, whispered her first words in 18 months. "I wish for Mommy to know I am okay." The words hung in the air like a prayer, and for the first time since the accident, Thomas heard Emma's voice, softer, more fragile, but undeniably hers. Ryan's face lit up with pure joy, as if Emma had just performed the most magical feat in the world. Emma took a deep breath and blew gently on the dandelion, watching as the soft, white seeds floated into the air, carried by the wind toward the sky. "There," Ryan said, feeling content. "Your mommy definitely heard that. Moms always hear their children, even from afar." Thomas walked over slowly, not wanting to disrupt the peaceful moment between the two children. "Emma," he said softly, "that was really beautiful. I'm so proud of you for making such a wonderful wish. Emma looked up at her father, and for the first time since the accident, she spoke directly to him. Daddy, do you think Mommy heard me? Thomas knelt down, wrapping his arms around her, his voice thick with emotion. I know she heard you, sweetheart. I know she's so happy to hear your voice again. Ryan watched the touching scene, a quiet sense of fulfillment filling him. Are you Emma's daddy? He asked. I am, Thomas replied, extending his hand for a shake. And I want to thank you for being such a good friend to Emma today. That's okay, Ryan said, shyly smiling. Sometimes people just need someone to remind them that their voice matters. Thomas was deeply moved by Ryan's natural empathy and understanding of Emma's needs. Ryan, where are your parents? He asked. I'd like to thank them for raising such a thoughtful son. Ryan's face fell slightly. It's just me and my grandma now. She's sitting on the bench over there. She doesn't walk too well, so I play by myself most of the time. Thomas glanced over at the bench, spotting an elderly woman watching Ryan with a warm, loving gaze. She looked to be in her 70s, and was carefully observing her grandson's interactions with the other children. Would you like to introduce me to your grandmother? Thomas asked. I think Emma and I would like to thank both of you properly. Over the next hour, Thomas learned about Ryan and his grandmother, Margaret. 2 years ago, Ryan's parents had died in a house fire, and despite her own health struggles, Margaret had taken Ryan in, raising him on a fixed income from her Social Security. Ryan's empathy and caring nature had developed as he tended to his grandmother, who suffered from arthritis and diabetes. He knew what it was like to face loss and sadness, which made him more understanding and kind toward others in pain. Ryan has always been special with children going through tough times, Margaret explained to Thomas as they watched the two kids playing on the playground. He seems to know exactly what to say to help them feel better. Thomas observed Emma laughing and talking softly with Ryan, amazed by how their unexpected encounter had done more for Emma than months of therapy ever could. Margaret, Thomas said, his voice thoughtful, would you and Ryan like to join Emma and me for dinner this weekend? It seems our children have formed a very special bond. As the months passed, Emma and Ryan became inseparable. Their families grew close too. Thomas hired a part-time caregiver to assist Margaret with her daily needs, and ensured Ryan had the same opportunities as Emma, including extracurricular activities and educational support. Emma's voice grew stronger and more confident with each passing day, as though Ryan's friendship had reminded her that it was safe to speak up again. Though there were still moments of grief, she now had the words to express her feelings, and a friend who understood the power of kindness. 6 months after their meeting, Thomas and Margaret watched with pride as Emma and Ryan performed together at their preschool's holiday concert. Emma sang a solo about sunflowers turning toward the light, her voice clear and full of hope. You know, Margaret said to Thomas as they clapped, Ryan told me that Emma taught him something important too. What was that? Thomas asked. Margaret smiled as she watched Ryan beam with pride. She taught him that sometimes the most important magic happens when you help someone else find their voice. He said that helping Emma speak again was the best wish that ever came true. Thomas looked at the two children, who had healed each other through the simple act of friendship. He realized that some miracles don't come from expensive treatments or professional help, but from the pure hearts of children who can recognize when someone else is hurting and respond with unconditional kindness. The playground where Emma had spoken her first words in 18 months became a sacred place for their family, a reminder that healing often comes through the most unexpected connections. Sometimes, the most powerful therapy isn't in boardrooms or therapy sessions, but in those moments of genuine human connection, where one person sees the pain in another and responds with a heart full of compassion. Ryan had not only helped Emma find her voice that day, but he had also reminded Thomas that the most important conversations don't always happen in professional settings. They happen when one heart connects with another.